Right, hi. So I'm now in Grantham Avenue Hotel, where I'll be staying for tonight. So today rode 150 something kilometers, over 90, nearly 100 miles, from York into Grantham. And today started off really well. For the first time in I don't know how many days, I actually set off before 10 a.m., got everything organized quickly. And yeah, it was a head to head crosswind, but only a gentle breeze along the first hour. And my handlebar bag has been quite compact lately, and I was able to get down to the drops and average about like 24 kilometers per hour for the first hour, which is just like pretty flat into Selby after the first hour. And by the way, the A19 into and out of York is really nice, well paved, and drivers seems to be much more well behaved as well. Yeah, but then afterwards, maybe I turned on to the A1040 something or A1060 something. It was slightly bumpier, but it was okay. So yeah, it was quite a fast first hour, and stopped for comfort break at the Little in Selby, and which I took a comfort break, and also um, got some bars because apparently I forgot to buy, and I'm running low on them. And yeah, it was a really nice first hour. Legs felt really great, and the wind wasn't bad at all. And what could go wrong, really? Yeah, it turned out everything went downhill from there. Yeah, so I changed my route a couple of times now because I had to accommodate Dom's schedule with who I'll be visiting tomorrow. Actually, wow, that's quite quick now. And right, yeah, time flies. But yeah, so I didn't really check the routing, and then I was routed onto, of course, the NCN, which I'm sure by now, surely it stands for National Cyclocross Network instead of Cycling Network. And yeah, had a stretch on gravel roads, which was okay, but obviously not nice. And yeah, some country roads, and then it was just like traffic-free road along some sort of canal, down south or due southwest or due south. Yeah, probably that sort of along those lines. And surprisingly, the roads were amazing. Well, that's obviously a lame joke. Yeah, it was quite gravelly, and a straight headwind as well, but again a gentle breeze, and there weren't too many ripples in the river. Well, it's not a river, it's a canal anyways. And I managed to catch yeah, the bridge rising, to just so that the sort of boats where people live in can go past the bridge in the canal. But yeah, it was nice, and road not so, and full of obstacles, narrow and bumpy. Yeah, it's just not nice. I mean, psychopaths really drive me psychopathic. But yeah, afterwards, it was nearly into Doncaster now through that canal. And then disaster struck again, and the wind actually picked up quite a bit from a gentle breeze into a really gusty and strong headwind and head crosswind. And it's even more difficult than day six, I think, because day six along the M74, you're constantly twisting and turning, and there are some shelters of sorts. But in the East Midlands, South Yorkshire, East Midlands, North Yorkshire, along those areas, it's just like plain pan flat, and you're like dead straight headwind, maybe slight head crosswind as well. And it was really, really strong, and there was like nowhere to hide. So There was a really tough stretch past Doncaster, and yeah, and the climbing starts after Doncaster as well. So it was like a combination of unfortunate events, and that's not the end of unfortunate events either. And again, I didn't check the route, and I was routed onto firstly a section of gravel roads, which of course was not nice but manageable. And then yeah, I had another stretch on sandy roads with gravels, lots of marbles as well. It's just literally impossible to put down any power, and when you try to spin the wheels, it just skips, and I crashed and got a mouthful of sand. And that's not the end. It turned into a muddy section, and as you may know, my bike is a TT bike converted TT bike, and it doesn't have much clearance for between the frame and the rear wheel, a seat tube and the rear wheel, and it's like specifically crafted that way, so it just have like maybe a millimeter or even less clearance for maximum aero performance. And so yeah, caught lots of marbles and mud, and then rubbed the frame a lot. It was just not nice. And then yeah, and then another stretch of gravel roads before I finally turned back onto tarmac. And then yeah, surprise surprise, that straight had winds with climbing, and sometimes had cross headwind as well. It was really gusting, and yeah, really nowhere to hide. It was pan flat, and it was just farmlands along the way. So yeah, it was really really tough, and it was turning to be day 6 all over again. And yeah, it's just really tough for the body and mind. And I had to stop start quite a bit as well to fill the bottles. Today was quite sunny and also really warm. And yeah, of course, I had to stop and clear the gravel so that doesn't rub against the frame and slow me down. And yeah, I think it's been quite stop-starty for the past couple of days. Rest day and then ride and rest day again. And also today, gravel sections, cycle paths, and all sort of things that makes you stop and start and stop and start. And you kind of lose the sort of motivation or momentum going forward as well. It was just like really, really tough for a long stretch of road. And yeah, and then it was just, I think, along the B roads or maybe some A roads. Again, that straight headwind, cross headwind, for a very, very long time. Kept eating, but doesn't feel like any energy has come through, and it was just horrible. And then I reached Newark, and is that Newark? It probably is Newark, yeah. And when I was about to give up, I kind of had a very, very heartwarming moment. So I, as per usual, I went into a dessert shop to have my bottle filled, and then the owner probably, or the manager, I think he's Turkish or maybe Middle Eastern, West Asian. He looks that way, anyways, and just offered another bottle of still water, and then just gave me 2 bananas as well. And I gotta say, that's gotta be the sweetest 2 bananas and sweetest water I've ever had in my entire life. Yeah, for free as well, and then wished me a safe journey, which was really, really heartwarming. And yeah, once past that, I kind of rode along the cycle paths as well, which surprisingly, finally found a hidden gem. It was along Newark North Gate, I think, the train station, and it was just a nice stretch of long, flat, and well paved and smooth, and yeah, cycle tracks. I think it's NCN 62 or 64 probably. I can't remember. I have to check. But yeah, it was just really, really nice. But you know, the toughest thing is really premature ending to every happy story. And yeah, that didn't last very long, and it turned gravelly again. Boo. Uh, but yeah, afterwards I kind of turned on to some more country roads, probably, twisting and turning, and turned into a crosswind until I finally turned on to the A52 towards Grantham. Oh, I've been lied to again. I thought it would be a tailwind all the way to Grantham, but it was a crosswind. So, but yeah, the A52, that stretch into Grantham was like the ultimate highway riding experience, because there was a section, there was no tarmac, and it was just concrete, and all these sort of noises that a car makes in contact with the road, and the engine noises just weren't absorbed as well, and it's nearly like a 4D experience, surrounded sound all around you, Dolby, Actum, that kind of thing. And probably not 4D. I would have been rear-ended or head-butted if it was 4D. But certainly the sound and the slipstream, turbulent air, like feels really, really. It's not frightening, but it feels real. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention when I was riding in the sort of head crosswind section, I was almost like begging for close passes, because obviously when a car passes you and it shields off the wind, disturbs the sort of flowing air, and the turbulent air just makes up much less air resistance to you. And but yeah, and got many close passes when I don't need to, but when I really needed them, it just never came. But yeah, I did get some disturbed air from the sort of larger trucks and vans, and just managed to catch some respites, and so didn't sort of imploded until I made it to Newark, of course, that heartwarming moment. And yeah, managed to do some shopping in the Astor in Grantham as well. And yeah, it will be tomorrow's breakfast. And yeah, that's it for today. I should have been shattered, but because of that heartwarming moment, I actually feel okay. And tomorrow I'll be riding into Cambridge, and some cycle routes. I try to avoid them as much as possible, but some of them some of the stretches of roads just look really busy, dual carriage A ways, so I had to go on to the cycle routes at some point. So yeah, it's really late now. It's almost, oh Jesus, it's almost 9 now. I better grab some eats, and I'll see you guys later.